welcome my friends to the monthly meeting here from Bruce. As you can see, there are so many people here, and those of you who have been listening to satsang regularly may see it looks like a different venue. It is not. We are in Bruce because there are so many people now that we had to shift the location a bit. Earlier we used to be in the library, which is just above us, and we had to go a little down so that we could provide seating for a lot of people this time. I'm so glad to receive all of you. There are a lot of friends that I haven't seen for a long time. There are new faces that I'm seeing. Nevertheless, we don't realize for how long we might have been friends. We are friends because we are on the same path. We are friends because we have been joined by this person whose picture all of you can recognize, our beloved Ishwapuriji. We are friends because of him. And those who I cannot see, those who can see me, we are friends as well, because it is the love that unites us all. But if you look at us, we come from such a diverse background that there is hardly anything associating us. Even if you have the similar DNA, you may be siblings, but you may be fighting, and you can find out all the differences amongst each other. Because siblings fight, parents fight. There is so much that divides us, and yet there is only one thing that unites us. And I'm so happy that I could find so many friends amongst us. And this is the message of friendship, message of love, because of which we are gathered here. And we are gathered here to do service to our master, because he had this dream of building a place for his master called Baba Dera Sawan Singh Ji. And in fact, you can look it up in Google as well. Probably I should not be saying it, but nevertheless it is there. And so if you have difficulty finding this place, just go to Google in North America, search for Dera Baba Sawan Singh Ji, and you'll be able to find this location. Otherwise it may be a little hard to reach. But people have been trying to come here for last several years, ever since our beloved master decided that he will build a Dera similar to a Dera Byas back in India. So we as humble souls are putting a little bit of effort in trying to realize his dream. And this is a living dream. This dream will never end. As long as there are seekers who want a place of solace, place of peace, place of love, friendship, a communion, this place will keep on living. And we are a true testament to that. People who are here can feel the vibration, can feel love. And it is the message of love because of which we are gathered here, we are united. Otherwise, there are so many reasons, infinite reasons to divide us all. Look at our skin colors. There are so many variations. Look at our imagination. There is so much variation. Our belief, sex, gender, caste, everything divides us. But there are very few things that we find common amongst ourselves. And despite those difficulties of differences, here we are, uniting in one place under one roof and trying to fulfill our master's dream, my master's dream, and so many of you who call him masters, who have been initiated by him and who have been touched by him. Doesn't matter whether you are initiated by him or not. Ultimately, masters come amongst us to give a message of hope, message of love, and hold our hand so that they can console us, they can teach us, and ultimately take us back home. Because we have been living here for quite some time, maybe several lifetimes, and it somehow reflects in our being that we are tired. Somebody can look into our eyes and feel the pain that we have been going through, and they come amongst us to relieve us of our pain. Some of us might have had this experience of first time finding him through YouTube or through other means, and what kind of reaction you had. If you reflect on that, that says it all. That sort of sums it all. That there is a hope left. Can a person like him with universal message come amongst us and tell us that there is a way out of the place we find ourselves in, the misery that we experience day in and out. There is so much happening in this world. There are so many wars going on. There is so much tribulation, physically, mentally. There are so many ill people. There are so many differences, a vast amount of difference. There are billionaires and there are people sleeping on the street. What accounts for that? Right? There are people who are seems like they should be always happy because they have everything in the world, and there are people who hardly have anything. They can't even sleep. They cannot get a good night's sleep under a bridge or on the street. They don't have anything to protect themselves. Events happen. Even people who are doing pretty well, suddenly events happen in their life that shakes up their life. They lose loved ones when everything is going great. How Ishwarji used to recount stories where he would he would look at everything going on in the world and would wonder if there is anybody who is happy, in this world. Can anybody be happy? And there would be folks who would say that yes, they're happy, perfectly happy. And he would invite them to stay with him for a couple of days. And after that, they will change their mind. In a couple of days, they will say that, okay, their life is miserable because something or the other happened and their spouses started fighting or something wrong is going on with their kids. So this constant battle happens, and seems like this world that we experience around us is not a good place to be in. But then there are people who have said that this is the place where you get most of your learning. Because it's amazing that without seeing the opposite, we can never understand this world. This is the world of duality. So without up, there is no down. Without darkness, there is no light. You cannot even perceive a light if there was no darkness. Everything is in contrast. That's when things become clear. When you want to use a tool, a graphical analysis tool, and you have to use some contrasting tool to figure out what is hiding. When the contrast is higher, that's when you realize, okay, what is hiding in the sort of plain sight. It may be there, the information may be there, but you need that contrast for the image to become clear. So somehow for us to realize and maybe sometimes entertain ourselves, or forget things to be able to entertain. A lot of us go to Las Vegas or Hawaii or different places to entertain ourselves. Why? Because somehow we want to suspend the reality we live in so that we can take a break and experience something else. And so the world somehow kind of throws a complex puzzle in front of us, and we try to grasp it. The more we dig into it, the more we read, it becomes even more complicated, and seems like there is no good outcome out of this. And we have been to a lot of temples, mosques. We have had conversation with a lot of philosophers. There are a lot of books, full of libraries full of books, and yet new books are always being written. There are new discussions to be had. We always constantly engage in various philosophical discussion, what is right, what is wrong, and yet it doesn't satisfy us. And because of our seeking of that search for true knowledge, true answers, because we are continuously seeking and yet we cannot find. And when you, through coincidence, bump into either YouTube or a book or some friend who just gives you a nudge and tells you a name that, okay, you should maybe look into this because you are seeking, through strange kind of coincidences, we bump into a lap of a perfect living master like Ishu Puriji, who have dedicated their complete life in serving their master. And he's an example worth imitating, worth following, if you are a true seeker. Some of us are in this journey to find those answers. He has given us a path to seek those answers. And a lot of us had, not me personally, but a lot of those who are attending here have had chance to be with him, not only just as a master, but as a true friend, just as a casual friend, without any imitation of being a master or somebody else who is from a completely different background. It seems like this person, although he's so close, looks like us. He has the similar kind of problems, money problems, spouse issues, children issues, but he operates from slightly different point of view, and he's always happy. Even amongst the misery that we live in, although he has similar problems, he somehow seems to have answers to most of the questions that we can understand and relate in our life. Through his through his own life, and through our association with us, he nudges us, he teaches us, sometimes even through jokes, cracking adult jokes, that we get to laugh at and always remember him. Most of us try to remember him through those corny jokes. And but this is the reality of life, when we are born, we have nothing. When we leave, when we die, yet we have nothing in this physical body. And we spend the whole life running around, doing all the duties that this life demands of us. And at the end of the life, we don't have anything to carry with us. And yet we spend so much energy. Can you imagine? We fight. We have lawsuits. We get engaged in business so much that we forget that we have other duties also to take care of. And we forget about the most important duty that this life affords us. And we forget about that. It is said that many are called, but only few are chosen. It's not, this message that masters give us is not, it's not like the message has not been given earlier. These messages are in books. These messages are in videos. A lot of religions have been founded on the basis of these messages. And somehow the message over time gets lost. And so masters always come to the seekers, true seekers. So we are the chosen ones, who decide to stick to the message and always constantly remind us that we have to live in the will of masters. And through association with the masters, he teaches how to live a life where things are in balance. Even though a lot may be happening in your world, and everybody's life is very unique to themselves, because all the relationships they hold, the place in the society, and everything, it's very unique life. As I said, we have different skin color, we have different belief, we have different family relationship, so it makes us very unique. But regardless of that, masters are born amongst ourselves in different conditions. A lot of masters have been born as a lawyer or a diplomat, or even like Kabir, a weaver. There have been masters who used to make just pots. They have been born in extreme poverty, and they had to live a normal life like others, struggle, go through different struggles. They had spouse issues, children issues. So what it teaches us, that it doesn't matter what kind of life you are living in this physical plane on this earth. We all have to go through ups and downs. We have to encounter different varieties. It's not all rosy, because if it was all rosy, if you're having the best of meal every day, do you think it will be okay with you? Can you live in one place, the same house, at the same 70-degree temperature throughout your life, wearing the same dress, eating the same food, same meal every time, same set of drink every time, wearing the same dress, seeing the same person? Imagine yourself that your life was like that. Would you be happy? Yeah, you may think that, okay, if you are eating a good food, maybe just one variety, maybe a cake or whatever your preference is, or sweet, Would you be happy? Maybe temporarily you may be happy while you are having it, but pretty soon you'll get bored. You can try this in your life. You know, we get tired of the same situation we live in, and we want variety. And without ups and downs, we cannot experience this world. You cannot experience high without the low. Imagine some of us have come from India, where there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of struggle that you have to go through. If you have to go to airport from your hometown, you have to make so many plans. How will I get there? People who try to come here, they have the same question. How do I make all the arrangements? Where do I stay? But after coming here, you can just book everything online. Things become so much easier. So I would think that people who experience this place would find as a heaven, sort of heaven. But after getting used to this heaven, you'll realize that this is not really heaven that you are constantly seeking. It doesn't give you the same pleasure that you imagined. Somehow people from here want to go back and experience India. So this tussle always goes on in our heart, that things around us, no matter how much money you have, there are other downsides to it that comes along with it. That sort of tells you that this is not a perfect place, and there is something beyond this that you are trying to find, and that makes us this chosen one. Other folks who are still yearning for maybe material wealth in this world are going about still doing that, and they find happiness in that. There's nothing wrong with that. They are trying to live whatever their heart desires. But seems like our heart desires something else. We want this inner peace. We have this inner thirst, yearning, and somehow we have bumped into this message of these masters, and it shows us, it gave us a hope that probably we can find some answers, whatever answer you are seeking in your heart. And that's why we are gathered here, to see to it that whatever dream our master had, we are keeping it alive. As I thought of this morning, that what if the meditation hall that we are trying to build here becomes ready one day? Is this dream fulfilled? Are we done? Can we all go back home? Probably yes, right? Because we would think that that was his dream. But I don't think that can be the dream. If you look at Dera Byas, people are still coming in millions, because as some of in the small circle become adept, understand the message fully, some of us realize the truth that Master have been continuously talking about, then they are able to pass that torch on to others, because it's not just small set of people who are seeking this message. As Great Master said, that this country, United States and the West, is ready. In last few decades, they have become ready. That's why a lot of masters from a different path have been coming here. So we'll be the torch bearers who will be associating with other folks who are ready. Those who are not ready will not be able to find this message, because they won't be looking for this. So even if it is in front of them, probably they won't understand. And all of us probably at some point in time might have bumped into the same message, but somehow we were not ready and probably ignored the message. Even though I came from India, I was not aware of Sant Mat. I was aware of other paths, and only after coming here somehow it occurred to me that okay, this is the path I'm attracted to. Even though it was right in front of me, I had my best friends; their families were following this path, yet I was clueless. I was not ready, and I was not seeking in the right place. Probably the time had not passed for me. So this work that has started, that Ishwarji had started, it is for a long haul. The mission will not be completed just by creating one building, and it is not at the end. It is not about the building. It is about quenching the thirst of so many people who are ready and looking for the message. Yes, uh, because of our mind, we have to run around and we have to make that first effort in finding or seeking. Sometimes we seek inside, sometimes we seek outside in books, and we keep seeking till our mind is completely satisfied. It is the mind that seeks. The soul is at ease. Soul knows what is happening. Soul is watching this drama, it knows what is to come. But because we have this block of mind, a huge garment, huge mask of mind placed in our soul, we have no idea. And we cannot operate with the soul. We don't know where the mind ends, where the soul starts. Only when you are in presence of these great masters, then somehow the mind gets suspended. How many of you have had a lot of questions, might have met master, but somehow dropped all the questions in front of him? Right? All of us can attest to that. I can see so many hands going up. It has been my personal experience as well. I would have so many questions about myself. What am I doing here with you? And somehow, I can't find those questions in front of him. After a lot of struggle of reminding myself that, okay, these are the questions I wanted to ask. I started preparing only 3 questions because as it happens in this country, when you want to give any lecture or anything, this is a formula that has been prepared that you go with 3 things, So I have also sort of adopted that formula. It says, you tell them what you're going to tell them, you tell them, and then you tell them what you told them. So that's a prescription for writing, doing a good presentation. So preview and actual presentation and then summary. Right, so I went with that 3 formula and then I was able to somehow satisfy my mind. So there are many ways that we try to quench our thirst, basically what mind is seeking. And you realize either through YouTube or by somebody suggesting to you that there is this person who is unique. He doesn't need any books. He doesn't need somebody else's opinion. He just speaks from heart and his own experience. And once you hear that yourself, somehow something wakes up in you and tells you that, okay, this is the place. I can get all my problems solved or questions answered through this person. Right? We have had experience like that. And this is a journey, constant journey for us. We are born here in this world to experience everything. I watch a lot of near-death experience videos, to remind myself constantly that this world that we experience is not real, although it seems, as real as it can be. There's a word in India, Indian literature, spirituality, that is used to signify that this is an illusion, this is a Maya. And Ishwarji commented on this word, Maya. He said, Maya is just not an illusion. It is a reality that is created even though there is nothing backing it. We see it is a strange reality that we experience. Masters say that we are one. There has never been 2. And yet we see so much diversity. We see so many people, right? How can you say that, these people don't exist? It is a great show that is going on. It is an amazing miracle, right? It is an amazing magic. People used to tell Ishwarji to perform some magic, like can you fly or can you do some kind of other magic? But he said that the magic is right in front of us. This is the biggest magic that we are experiencing, yet we deny it because we don't delve into ourselves and seek the ultimate reality. Because from his point of view, we are all one. It's just that we have lost our memories, we have lost the contact with that ultimate one that we are part of, always. If we were not part of that, the only consciousness that is there, we would not be operating. We are able to operate as a conscious being because of the power that is within us. But yet we are not in contact with that power, because we have been, as I said, huge mass that we have put on ourselves of mind that constantly divides us. It constantly reasons with us that this is right, this is wrong, this is up, this is down. And it gives us great experience. Without that, we won't be able to experience this world in the way that we are experiencing it. We are able to experience this world visually, right? We can see, we are able to hear sound, we can taste, great food that is being produced here. We have this wonderful, you can see a large potato, and there are so many other things that we have been growing. And it has been so conveniently placed inside of me that you can all see, this beautiful lemon, and it tastes good. We have had taste of this prasad from our prasad garden yesterday with a wonderful meal prepared by a lot of sevadas who came from different places to help us prepare. We have had a taste of that, right? So through these external senses, we are able to experience this world. And I said, this melon is sweet, it was a very nice prasad we had. Why do I say it was nice? Compared to what? You always have to compare it with something else to be able to judge that it is nice, it is beautiful. Without judgment, you cannot, without the faculty of being able to judge, differentiate. Not only you cannot differentiate between the objects, you cannot differentiate between the qualities, ups and down, right? You cannot, if you did not have a power of vision, power of sight, you cannot see faces, you cannot see light, you cannot see sunlight, you cannot see the moon and be bathed in moonlight, right? There are all this wonderful soothing quality of moonlight you cannot perceive if you did not have your skin through which you could perceive or touch, right? So through this we are able to explore this world and find a lot of ups and down. You can enjoy taste, cake, prasad, which we will have soon after our satsang, and we can enjoy this world. And as I said, when we are born, we have nothing. We have no relationship, because we don't remember if we ever set our foot on this planet or any other planet. We don't know. We start with a blank slate, and as time passes, we keep filling it up. We have relationship. We have parents who make sure that we understand them, we recognize them. They will rattle toys in front of us after we are born, till we are able to comprehend what is in front of us. Different colors, different sounds. We become happy, we cry when we get an injection or we are sick, right? So these experiences are wonderful. It can be taken as a wonderful experience when things are going good, but it can also be cause of a lot of trauma that we experience in our life. When the same relationships are severed, right? When parents split because of divorces and the child is left alone, then there's a lot of trauma that goes through a child's psychology. Because of which they are tormented throughout their life. They seek this answer. What have I done to deserve this, right? I'm sure majority of you can ask this question, and you'll find that there is things that happen in your life because of which you are here. We can't understand fully, but masters have told us that there is a way this world operates. Not only it's because of the nature of duality, but it's a great show that is going on, a great Maya that is in front of us, that is causing us to play everything that we experience. But there is a way to see this as a drama and to go beyond this experience and realize that whatever we think of ourselves is not right. We most of the time associate ourselves with the name that we have been given, the body that we have been given, and whatever fancy imagination you have about this body, we assume that to be true. This is true just for the time being, but then we change after we die. A lot of people who die prematurely before their time, and sometimes in operating theater or some accident, they are able to experience that somehow they experience not only their body, their physical body, but themselves. And sometimes they are confounded that even though they see that their physical body is in front of them, they cannot realize that, okay, it is them. It is that same person who died. They think that, okay, this is something going on. And only later on they realize, oh my God, this is their body. They are dead. So even when they are dead, they cannot understand that they are dead. So that means you are not dead, even though physically your body is lying somewhere, you somehow go on. And people, even after taking a birth, some of them can remember their past incidents, past memories are still with them. And they can tell you where they were born last. You can check with the previous family. Ishuji himself talked about a family member who went through this. And so the evidence of all this is around us. We just have to, see it. We have to have our sort of cup turned in the right way. Our inner eyes or our ears needs to be open to the message that is in front of us, to be able to see that, okay, this is the answer to the question that I was seeking. Like growing up, I had this message in front of me, yet I could not perceive it somehow. So my door of my faculty of observing that was not quite open at that time, because I did not have the right amount of right kind of seeking. I was not seeking that message, right? So we are all here. We are ready to receive the message, and a lot of us have been on this path for quite some time. And so the dream will never end. So the dream that we are working towards, at least in this occasion of Mitti Seva, where we harvested the fruits that I showed you, this will go on. We'll be meeting here on every occasion that we can, whenever the weather is great, and we'll keep working on his dream. And his dream was to help Great Master's vision come true. His predictions of shifting access of spirituality to the West. He was just mentioning that it is shifting because it is not shifting because Great Master is trying to do this. It is shifting because of the yearning that is in the people's heart. And as you can experience yourself, a couple of years have passed since Ishuji passed away, and a decade since Great Master had pronounced that access of spirituality is coming here. You can see that what's happening in the economy in the West, right? There is war going on. The economy is going through a recession. There are a lot of layoffs happening. And I always try to understand why Great Master chose this place. Even while flying here, there was a passenger sitting next to me, old lady. She asked me, "Where are you going?" I told her, "I'm going to Bruce. It is in Wisconsin, a couple of hours away from Minneapolis." She said, "What are you doing there? Who goes there?" She was quite surprised. I'm sure a lot of you have expressed the surprise that, why Bruce? Why such a hard to reach places? And yet there are people who just, even before Ishwarji or around that time, without having association with Ishwarji, as it dropped in here, they just were passing from this place and happened to buy a property here. And a lot of people, through their birth, they landed here, without any visa to come here. So a lot of these things have been happening. It is all pointing to what Great Master pronounced. Great Master Baba Sawan Singh Ji, Master of Ishupuri Ji, he pronounced a while back that this is going to happen because this place is ready. And not only that, that economic power of uh, North America, America is going to go down, and we'll see the whatever West is good at, same thing would happen in the East, because East is longing for all the material benefits. And I can already see, because I'm in California, and I can see the transition of technology happening to India, Philippines, all the Eastern countries, China. So it is, I can, as if we are trending exactly in the way that Great Master had pronounced. So this shift of axis is for a long time. If you look back, for how long East was carrying the message of spirituality, had different religions, different philosophies growing in them. It was for almost millennia. Gautam Buddha, probably 2,000, 3,000 years back, and prior to that, a lot of other different religions, philosophies that eventually turned into a different religion. Muhammad, Jesus Christ, right? They had they were all perfect masters in their time. And before that, Krishna and Rama. And so this has been going on because of the seeking. Now the seeking has somehow shifted. We have been tired of all the material gains we have had in the past. And although we see a lot of negative things taking place, and we fear for our well-being, but we are here, it cannot be coincidence that maybe we have been seeking this. We wanted to be part of it. Imagine people who have been associated with Dera Vyas, and they have taken the next birth over here, and we are going through such downturn right now, and it's causing a lot of pain to a lot of people, and yet they decided that it's worthwhile for them to experience it all over again. They've been part of Dera in the past, where they saw Dera come up, and they are going to be here as a part of this Dera that is being built, and only Great Master or Ishwarji knows, what is the extent to which this will happen. But he had often compared this place to be like Dera in Vyas, right? It will be serving as the focal point from where the spirituality is going out. This will probably last for another several generations, if not thousands of years. Because once the shift happens, the shift is, Great Master did not predict another shift where it will go back. Right? So we can, not yet. So this is a live dream that will be kept because we are here. It is only to satisfy our seeking that Masters come here. If none of us were here, I don't think Ishwarji would be here. He would give up everything that he had in India, because he was asked by Great Master himself to go to West and spread his message, and he was here to do just that work. He was the ringleader, right? And we are all his spiritual children. We are all his friends. He held our hand. We have wonderful memory of him. So we'll keep this place going as much as we can, but this is not about a physical place. Although the physical place gives us this comfort, we are sitting under this roof, and we have heating on, we are able to comfortably sit here and have this wonderful satsang, remember him. But it is not about this physical place. Physical place has its sort of place, it is needed, we are all spiritual beings. We are all souls at the end of the day, yet we have taken this physical experience. So we cannot just dismiss the physical experience that we are having. We cannot deny the importance of place, money, food, relationship. We have to live within them. We have to cope up with that. But we also, because we are seekers, we need to realize that it is not in outside world that we will find the answer. For answers, we need to turn inside. And Master gave us with so many of his talks examples of how to turn back. Ultimately, I think this game of consciousness that is happening because it is just call it one single soul that has split into so many of us as a wonderful magic show where we cannot differentiate. We cannot differentiate ourselves with the next reality that is inside us. We think this is the reality, yet we are all one, seeking the same reality. So for to be able to find that reality and yet also be in this physical plane, experiencing everything that is around us, he taught us that this is all a game of consciousness. Because our consciousness, our attention is flowing outside, we are able to experience this world. When we sleep, we don't die, right? But we don't remember the fact that we are sleeping on the bed. Why is that? Right? You could ask this question to yourself. Why is that we cannot remember? We take it as a trivial matter that when we sleep, we don't remember. It's a fact of life, so we take it for granted. We don't ask any question beyond that. What happens to us after we sleep? Right? Where are we? Why do we need sleep? Right? Okay, you can justify that. We are tired because that's what we have been told. That we get tired during the day. We participate in so many activities because of which we are tired, so we need a break. Yes, that sort of makes sense. But you can have a break, but you could be aware, right? You could be aware that you are lying in your bed and just resting. But that's not what happens in our experience. We are just lost. We just wake up in the morning and you're fresh, right? What happened for 6-7 hours that you were lying in the bed? It happens with billions of people. There are so many people walking on this earth, but how many people get to this question, what happens in our sleep? We have a different experience, but we don't remember those experiences, right? We are experiencing something similar to the example that I gave, that when you die, and people die and experience their physical body in front of them. We do experience, because we are not dead yet we take it for granted that yes, there is nothing that happens. You experience a blackness maybe, and then you just wake up and life goes on as previous day and so many earlier days. So we don't pay attention to that. But if you try to keep yourself awake during that time, somehow, not fall asleep, you'll remember that you are still there. You are still in your bed, like a lot of us have difficulty sleeping, right? So before you have slept, you are of course awake, right? But you go through a transition where you lose awareness of this physical body that is lying in the bed. And you just go into maybe a dream world, if you're dreaming. Then there is a possibility of experiencing something else which is not conveyed through the physical senses that we think is in our body. Our eyes are shut, right? Our ears are probably open, but it's not paying attention. But you are experiencing a different world, a dream world. So it is possible to experience something else. And that experience is what creates our reality. Because we are conscious being, the aspect of consciousness is to be able to aware of something, right? So whatever you can perceive creates the world we are in. If you always live in your dream world and don't wake up in the morning, let's say if you sleep for another 6 hours in the morning, right? And say you are having a vivid dream, would you still remember that you were sleeping in the bed? Probably not. You have completely forgotten about the previous reality you were experiencing. So you could ask this question, am I the one who is sleeping? Say you know that you were sleeping. Most of us probably don't have any idea that you were sleeping. Your physical body is in the bed. We don't remember that. So whatever is in front of us, that becomes the reality. Because now we are awake, we have all our sense faculties working, or all 9 doors are giving you information. So we have, the mind is able to have this impression that there is an object in front of me. You know, you can make out different objects. You know, I can make out there is a camera, even though it's just a blob. You know, there's a screen. You know, but something within me is telling me that what you are seeing is not just a blob. It's not just red color, black color, white color. You know, it is actually an object that you can manipulate. You can hold in your hand. It gives you a sense. It gives you completeness. Sense objects just convey a raw information to us, right? I have a computer background, and there is a lot of artificial intelligence technology that is being deployed. There's a company called Tesla that is working on full self-driving, autonomous driving. There are other companies also working to fulfill that. They're trying to make robots. And it is so difficult for computers to make sense of the things that is in front of it. It's not for the lack of the amount of information, but there is an inherent capability in us somehow to associate things and make a meaning out of it. So somehow seeing things and to be able to touch it, manipulate it through our senses, that gives us a great sense of reality, that it is a physical object that we are touching. The computers cannot make sense of that. You know, it has to be a very extremely complicated program that tries to, through algorithm, you know, if this is true, then this. If it is not true, if I can see something, if there is a light here, then that means there should be a source of light. You know, if it's a black color, then there is nothing, you know, and so on. But the perception is not built into the normal, you know, computer objects or different devices that are being built. So we are capable of experiencing this world through the sense perception that we have been given. And in our dream, even though we don't have these physical sense perceptions, you can yet experience a different world, different reality. So reality is experienced because we are conscious, not necessarily because the sense perceptions, the physical sense perceptions that give us this physical reality are there because of which we are experiencing. Because in our sleep, our eyes are closed. So the physical door is closed. Yet, in your dream, you'll be able to experience things. Maybe you're running, maybe you're playing with an animal. There are different, as if you have been given a different set of eyes, different set of senses through which you are able to now experience a completely different dream world, right? Where you are free, maybe you can fly through those dream worlds. And this physical world, with this physical body, has tied you down, you know. Can anybody fly? People ask masters to perform magic by flying, you know, and they say, no, this is not how the laws in this physical world operate. So the laws, there are different worlds that we can experience. If we are able to somehow close off the experience here, that is close off the sense perceptions that we have, and we every day experience that through our dreaming. But that is not a conscious operation, right? When we sleep, we have no control of what's going to happen. You know, you cannot decide that you will go to Menominee. You cannot decide in your dream that you will go to Rice Lake or Chicago, right? You cannot drive a car. At least not the normal folks, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe through practice you can. Because masters, a lot of masters can fly, you know, consciously fly. They don't fly with this physical body, right? Because this physical body is not meant for flying. But there are bodies using which you can fly. But how do we get those bodies? You can sort of unconsciously fly by sleeping and randomly going about things, whatever is happening. But there's a way to perceive a different world. Not only this physical earth that we experience, a very limited amount of physical earth that we experience, but yet there is a different world that we can comprehend, that we can experience by somehow switching off this, the perceptions that are built into us physical organs that we use to experience this world. If we were to somehow switch it off, then maybe we can perceive a different world. So the masters tell us that it is possible. You can consciously do that. And through the practice of meditation, we can revert the direction in which we are getting this experience. The directions of the door that are open, if we are able to close off, another door inside us will open. That door is always available to us, but our awareness is always flowing out through our eyes, ears, sense perceptions, which wherever the awareness is, the experience that we're having will be governed by that, those sense perceptions that are there with the body that we're carrying. So we have this physical body, that's why we are able to experience this physical world. If you take away this physical body, we will experience something else. So if you are able to sit in meditation, and somehow meditation is just a process of inverting, or as Ishwarji used to say perfectly, withdraw the attention that is flowing out. If you are able to concentrate attention, you can find more information about that, because you are concentrating on me, you are able to see me. But if you close your eyes and doze off, you'll be experiencing something else, right? You'll completely forget about me, that I'm sitting in front of you. So, but a meditation is just an art of withdrawing the attention through our physical senses while we are awake. While we are sleeping, we cannot do this, because in sleep we have no control over what we can perceive, unless you are a yogi adept who can put yourself in a sleep state and observe yourself. There have been yogis who can consciously go in that state, but we are talking about normally doing it through the process of meditation, of reverting or withdrawing the attention that is flowing out. And at the end of the day, it is all about attention. Wherever we place our attention in, that's how the experience is going to be. So if we are able to place our attention somewhere else, which is the direction masters want us to turn to be able to realize that this is the Maya that we are experiencing right now. So if we are able to withdraw our attention to wherever it is flowing from, and according to the masters, it is flowing from a single point. It is always, whatever body you are holding, according to them, it is always a single point from where it is emanating out and giving you the experience that you are experiencing. So if you are in the dream world and you have a dream body because of which you are experiencing the dream, maybe you have dreamy eyes, dream eyes, dream legs, and because you're flying, you have dream body. So even that carries awareness. Your awareness is always with you, and so it is always operating from that single point of that body. So somehow, if you are able to, although sleep is is not the direction you want to go to, you want to go in order to realize the truth. Not only you want to shed the covers that we have, the physical cover that we have, you want to go into a reality that is much more stronger than the reality we experience in. We normally don't remember the dreams because they are, the sense of reality about the dream is not as strong as this reality that we experience in. So that's why we never doubt, whether we are staying in this physical plane or in the dream, But you could have a wonderful dream, you could wake up, you can remember that dream, but you would never confuse your reality with the dream. You'll never question whether you are this person, in this physical body, or you were that person who was flying around in the dream. You're not confused because of the sense of reality that gives you. So it is about finding the truth. What is truer and truer? This physical reality is truer. But according to masters, if we are able to just go one level up, we'll find that that reality feels even more real than this reality. And even though you come back from that reality onto this physical reality, you will always remember and you will always know that that is more real than this reality. So it seems like the reality is also subjective. It depends on your experience. And we can uncover what is beyond us by suspending this reality consciously, by withdrawing our attention and pulling it to the single point from where it's operating. Because once you shut down the perceptions in this physical world, you know that you are not dead. You'll be able to think. You'll wonder, where have people gone? What am I experiencing? You'll ask questions. There'll be chatter going on in your head. You'll know that you are still around, right? Maybe a new world will open for you. And masters have told what kind of experiences you can have. So you can experience what is called astral plane, where your body is much lighter, you're able to fly around. There are, whatever experience you have, those are so much more real. Some things shine, right? And so the crispness with which you experience that world will become more real for you. You will know, even after returning back from there to physical plane, you will always know that that is more real. And this, at that time, you'll start doubting. You'll realize that this could be the Maya. This is just giving you an impression of reality that seems to be in place in front of you. But when you stop playing this game at the end of your life, you are not going to die. You will land in other reality that is still going on. Yet masters tell us that that is not the end. You can even go up, by inverting, by withdrawing attention from that body into the physical, into a single point from where the experiences, attention is going out. You can, if you were to withdraw to that single point in that astral body, then you'll be able to discover another reality, which is even more truer than the level you were at, maybe astral body that you were wearing, right? And you'll realize that, oh my God, this is the ultimate place from where the whole reality is being created. 3 levels of reality, right? And as masters used to say, that a lot of folks, yogis, different masters get stuck there because we can't get a sense of how real it could be, how creation is taking place. But in that body, you will have comprehension of how everything is being created, not only through astral level, but physical level as well, right? And then you will know that, okay, probably, this is the ultimate place. You have reached heaven. You know how the creation is working. But masters tell us that that is not the end. You have not fully discovered. You just know about the experiences. From the single point of that body, the attention is going out and giving you a sense of the world that is being created in that level of existence. And that is happening at different levels. And that is how the reality is being created. But these are just experiences. You have not yet discovered yourself. From that 3rd level, all you are doing is experiencing various things, right? But you have not discovered another 2 levels that is yet to be discovered. And that cannot be compared with the experiences that we normally have through our senses. So at this physical level, we have 5 senses through which we are experiencing this world. And at the astral level also, you have astral experiences happening. At the causal level, at mental plane, you can see the concepts taking place, how the creation is happening. You can get a sense of that experience. But these are limited to the experiences. And there are yet another couple of levels to which you can go to, where you can, although you can call it experience, but these are not experiences according to them. You have to become them. You have to become creator to be able to realize the whole creation. And you cannot have duality there. In order to become God, you cannot be separate from God. Most people want to see God, right? But you cannot see God according to the masters. You have to become God. You have to become one with Him. Imagine an entity that is infinite in its dimensions. How can you mentally understand that? Mentally, we work in time and space. We, we understand portions and portions of things one at a time, right? And by the time you have learned something, probably you forget other things, right? So mentally, we are always incapable of grasping everything. Although at a mental plane, you can comprehend everything, you can experience everything in one go, right? But that is still limited in time and space, according to the masters. And there is still existence beyond time and space. That is possible to achieve. And unfortunately, without a perfect living master, it's not possible to achieve. Because they operate from beyond these planes of three existence that I talked about, the physical plane, astral plane, and causal plane. These masters operate from beyond that. They know how to pull the souls that want to go away from all these three experiences. Because a lot of people get stuck in these three planes and sort of recycle over and over. So sometimes people just don't want to have any more maybe lives. They don't want to go through all these experiences. When you have had all the experiences, you just want to be want to have something different, you know. And you have had sense of this love, intuition that is coming from master. And masters also take a pity on people who have been stuck in the planes for millions of years, you know, going through these experiences, but they still have seeking. They feel that there is something more than this, and they want to experience, or they want to get a glimpse of that. That's when masters appear amongst them. And then they tell them that you have to go back to the physical plane as a human being, and you have to take birth again. So we are those ones. It's quite possible that some of you have had so many experiences in those planes, and you have been tired, and you wanted to go home. And we have been asked to take birth here so that we can be a physical being, you know, experiencing everything, ups and downs, getting tired, and wanting to completely disabandon this place and leave this place, never to come back. And we have that yearning and seeking, because of which we are born as a human being. And so we are the chosen one. He has been giving messages for such a long time. I'm sure a lot of people, at least hundreds of thousands of people, have heard him. But how many people have had this wonderful opportunity of associating with him, being close to him, hearing him in close proximity, you know, holding his hand, getting blessed by him? He has said to his audience, I see my great master's face in all of you. All of you have been blessed. And masters, great masters' words, or perfect living masters' words, you know, cannot be just dismissed. There's a hard reality behind that. They always talk from that place of truth. So we are the chosen ones, and it is incumbent on us to make sure this data, the vision, continues live. It remains alive, and we make sure that it acts as a sanctuary for thousands of people to come in the future. Right? We do not know the ultimate goal, but with the shifting of axis of spirituality, this is bound to happen. And millions of people will look for messages. You know, there are 300 billion people in United States only, and in Canada, and maybe Mexico and other parts of America, South America. There are seekers. A lot of masters have been visiting those countries. But so the seeking is growing all the time, and with the changes happening in the economy, those things will happen. More people will seek the true answer. They will look for answers of their grief that they will experience. So I feel that this place is going to be that sanctuary, place where people can find answers. That doesn't mean this world is going to change. Masters never come in this world to actually make physical changes, but they change our heart. for the people who are ready to get answers, they call upon them and they show them the way how they can find the answer within them. At one time, I just wanted to share a personal anecdote. I was with Ishwarji in London, and I had wonderful opportunity to interact with him, spend time having breakfast and dinner. That was such a sweet time, and in that I was able to relate some of my experiences. I was able to introduce fully myself as well, and as I shared more information, at the end of the day, next day, he told me, Jagannath, everything is inside you. And so he was telling me that although you have heard so many messages, so many of my videos, I'm telling you that you just have to turn your attention back, and all the experiences that you're talking about, you can find it within yourself and much more. And so he wanted to guide me and tell me that, okay, withdraw your attention back to from where it is flowing out, and you'll find everything. Masters come in our outside world because we don't know that there is something called inside. There's no concept of inside. I mean, for a long time I was thinking that how can I go inside, right? Although Masters have said, go within yourself, know thyself. But it's hard to imagine how to do this practice of turning your attention inside. So Masters not only give us the practical path, but also as a mentor, they tell us the direction through which we can find the answers. And he said, follow anyone who tells you to go inside. As long as you are in the right direction, you will ultimately find the truth. But if your direction is wrong, no matter how much you try, you'll never find those answers. He said, you cannot find the answers outside, because there is no outside. It is being created from inside. We don't realize that. The perceptions that we that convey to us that there is a hard reality, if it is Maya, it is all being created from inside. But the reality is being projected outside. The hologram is outside for our experiences. For other experiences, we have to go inside and find them for ourselves. And so you have to all get a taste of pudding in order to confirm that there is a pudding and how sweet it is. If you just talk about the pudding, it'll just be a talk. You'll never experience it. So we can have, it's good to remind ourselves and also somehow force ourselves to be in the midst of the lectures, because left to mind's desire, it will never be on this path. Right? There are better things to enjoy out there in the world. But if you are true seekers, you will always attend to the important things that last beyond this life, right? Because once you die and you have not gotten the treasures that only this life affords us, right? As I was telling earlier, a lot of people are stuck in the mental planes, and for them to go beyond that, they have to be born as human beings on this plane, right? So while the opportunity is there, let's all remember the message that Master left for us and practice so that we can get a taste of the pudding or sweet nectar, through which we can find the ultimate reality. So let's make sure that this place is vibrant. We can do all our seva that is humanly possible, whatever small things we can do to make sure that his vision is kept alive. And at the end of our day, of our life, we can reflect back and tell Ishwarji when we meet him that I have served you with every cell of my being, right? Physical self, emotional self, everything. So we have to work like a Gurumukh and turn our life into service of our Master. And not only by attending the seva that we do once in a while, but by sitting for him in the meditation and offering him the meditation, right? Doing the seva, mental seva for him. And of course, in whatever capacity we can serve him by building, a place like this, or meeting hall that we are working on right now. And this will go on. But this is not about, as I said, this is not about a physical place. Yes, we will build it. It will happen in its time whenever masters want it completed. All we need is give him our whatever we can physically, right? We don't have to stretch ourselves, because we have to live in this world and be of this world, yet our attention needs to be somewhere else, right? It's like there's a flower called kamal in India. I forget what the English translation is. Lotus, sorry, obviously, yeah. It's like, it should be like a lotus flower, It grows in a pond that is muddy. But if you look at the lotus flower, that never catches the mud. It is such a beautiful flower, right? It somehow is able to separate itself from everything around it. So example of this lotus flower is given, and with a lot of yogis and masters, they use that analogy to represent how a life should be lived. So always living in the midst of everything, dirty, because this world is, as I was saying, ups and downs. There's a lot of dirt in India here. Mentally there is so much dirt, because we are always judging others, saying negative things. Somehow we need to keep ourselves elevated, from all that dirt, and yet live in that dirt and separate ourselves and act like a gurumukh. Always remember the master and be in his service. So with this, I'll like to conclude, but before that, I'll give a little bit of update on the data progress, because I know a lot of you would like to hear about that. So some of you had a chance to go up on the hill and see the work that has been done. So the foundation is in place, and we are making plans for the second phase. Maybe it's the last phase, but all the architectural drawings are being prepared right now. We hope that within a month it will all be complete, and we'll give it out for bidding, and then we'll get an idea of how much it is going to cost us for various things. So, and based on the amount of money needed and what we have, we'll make our plans appropriately, and we strive to continue making progress as much as we can. And so be assured that the work is happening. I would like to thank a lot of people who have donated a lot of things here. It's amazing if you're here and if you see a lot of work being done with such a small amount of money. I'm sure Ishwarji is going to be thrilled at the progress that we are making. And what is also important to know in our heart is that we are doing everything that we can, right? Ultimately, we are responsible to him as a disciple, as a good disciple of his. So if we are true to that, we are doing his work. And the results are ultimately his. Only he knows what is being done here. We are just, small, humble bodies trying to physically, do a little bit what is in our capacity. Sometimes we are, in fact, learning new tricks. I was able to put few weeds the other day myself. And so we are doing everything that we can. So I hope you will continue to participate, come here and make it a true data without souls being here, carrying on the torch. This can't be the data that Great Master and Ishwarji wanted it to be. So I thank you again for coming here. I want to thank all the Sevadas for harvesting the food, and folks who have prepared a lot of wonderful meal, and it has been truly an honor of mine to be here amongst you and be on this journey with you. Thank you so much.